Hello to everyone. My name is Samuel Martins Drey, and today I'm going to present the paper entitled The Use of Rich Pictures as a Mediating Element Among Stakeholders in Complex Health Problems, a case study in the medical clinic of a Brazilian hospital. This work is mainly constructed in the postgraduate program in production engineering from the Federal Fluminense University from Brazil. A quick summary of the presentation that I'm going to display today. First, we have the context, the research context, and the paper's objective, the methodology used in the paper's construction, the development of the paper, the presentation of the structure-rich picture and its benefits, the conclusions and future research, the author's views of the research points and future possibilities, and last but not least, the references used in this presentation. As you can see here in the introduction, the Brazilian health system is formed by main 2 points in the coexisting of the direct contracts of services with the insurers, and the second one with the unified public health system. There is a universal health system of public funds based on rights. In addition to budget restrictions, the modern health system is complex, as our hospitals. Due to the great heterogeneity of their professionals, the networks compose of various fields of knowledge and their decision-making process. Problem structure methods, or PSMs, make it possible to represent the situation so that participants can converge on commitments and at least partially solve the difficulties generated by such problems. Even with the range of PSMs, the use of soft system methodology, SSMs, stands out. However, in situations where an interaction among the analysts who are carrying out the application and the employees involved in the process is necessary, since this PSM has the construction of rich pictures, which helps in synergy and trust between the stakeholders. Given this scenario, this study aims to explain the use of rich pictures as a mediating element among stakeholders in complex health problems. It was used a case study that took place in the medical clinical wing of a medium-sized hospital located in the interior of a Brazilian state named Minas Gerais, in which the SSM was applied, used the rich picture as an initial contact element. So, as we can see here in the methodology, it was partially displacement in three main points to better explain the gains of the rich picture. So, the first main point, it was called initial step, was the process that make up the hospital's medical clinic was outlined, as well as the people involved and responsible for decision making through observation for 3 months on the operation of the ward based on the work by Drey and Ignacio from 2000 to 2001. The second main point, it was called rich picture. After the survey, the situation of the treatment location was explained. It was a rich picture, since it was possible to extend its applicability in any operational research work. To express the rich picture, meetings were held among the analysts of approximately 1 hour a day for a period of 2 weeks. The last point, it was called participation of the stakeholders. It was divided into subpoints. There was build succinct definitions of the relevant systems. For this, it was used from the point of view of the employees involved of the process of the medical clinic who had contact with the rich picture to the unstructured meetings. And second, establish the catchword, the clients, actors, transformation, worldviews, honors, and environmental restrictions, determining each role of these involved after the construction of the rich picture to delineate who they are and mainly how their interests were effectively established to the rich picture's construction. In the development, the first point was the initial state. So the main stakeholders involved in the process are the employees of the medical clinic. There is the nurses on duty together with the hospital stretchers. And finally, the physicians responsible for the direct and indirect care actions of hospitalized patients. Much of the movement required for the functions of the hospital medical clinical sector to be performed require displacement that take place by ramps to access the lower floors. As you can see here, In the second point, the rich picture was constructed, and each part of this can be selected here. First, we have the third floor, that the medical clinic is located on the third floor of the hospital. The second main point is, however, several of its processes take place in other wings, requiring displacement between the hospital ramps, given that the hospital does not have elevators. So you have to go by the ramps to other wings in the hospital, causing displacement of the nurses on duty in the medical clinic. In addition, there are processes that take place within the wing itself, overloading employees due to the lack of standardization of activities. So the nurses on duty that were not there supposedly should be doing processes in the medical clinic. So we have a gap and overload of activities by these nurses. For this reason, the rich picture proved to be very important, as in addition to recognize these problems, it managed to bring together everyone involved, including the nurses in the construction. So the construction of rich picture was a key point because we could have the relevant system that was balanced the activities of the responsibility of the medical clinic employees, especially nurses, with actions aimed as differentiating between the tasks that they happen in the medical clinic itself and those that require displacement, as they contain interaction with other wards. So, after establish the modeling objective, we part to the stakeholder participation. So it was possible to propose the system definitions associating with each function of those involved, catch-all within the SSM. The presentation of catch-all in this study has the primary intention to present the stakeholders of this complex problem and, moreover, to show that the rich picture individually managed to mediate its interactions efficiently. So first, the clients, we have the patients and family. Although they are not directly involved with the creation of the rich picture, the interests are expressed and they form the flow within the medical clinic, and through its improvement, there is an alignment within their interests. The actors were the employees, the hospital employees proved to be the key to the creation of the rich picture, as they are directly linked to its flows. Furthermore, their interests were taken into account with a view to improve process and proposing the balance of the functions. The transformation was precisely to propose a method that balances workers' load, considering activities with and without displacement, encompassing clients and actors in this transformation. The word view, it was established that the balance should be efficient for different time horizons and not onerous for the hospital, aligning the interests of the employees, hospital managers, and analysts that was the authors. And the owners, the analysts and directions, having their interests encompassed primarily in the worldview, but also in the transformation. Last, the environmental restrictions as respect to their health and hygiene standards enforced in hospital, as well the well-being of patients and families involved, in order to mediate the interests not only of those internally involved, but of the entire community that surrounds the study hospital. As conclusions in future research, the present study managed to achieve its objective, which was to explain the rich pictures as a mediating element among stakeholders in complex health problems, the importance of the interaction between analysts who are proposing the application of PSMs and the employees involved in is highlighted, especially in the health environment where processes are complex and interact with each other in a variety of ways. This study have limitations at time mainly for the meetings with the employees, although the primary limitation was the contact between the analysts and hospital staff due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which reinforces the study's aims of highlighting the application of rich pictures and or other tools that are shorter in different applications. As future research has recommended the unfolding of this study, as well as the application of the proposed conceptual model. This was the references used in this presentation. And That's my contact. Thank you very much for the attention.